do you mean you guys could hear already? Oh well. Hello and welcome to today's stream here in the lovely little fictional racetrack of Heart Lake. This is the Heart Lake complex and we are here for F4 Europe. The European F4 season arrives at the French hills of Heart Lake with a maximum incline of 8 meters of height difference from the tallest to the lowest point on track. We have a lovely little layout for you guys to watch today. With a 8-minute qualifying session, the drivers can do 2 laps of the track, and after that, whatever time they've got, or indeed if they've got no time, that will be what is on the board for the race. Talking of the races, we then have 2 races after that, both of them 12 minutes long, and I can guarantee that it is going to be pretty interesting to watch. This is a complex track, very technical, where the drivers are going to have to rely on their skills, such as the silver skills of Rybread right here, to get them through the track and not going off. Let's have a little ride on board as we make our way just out of the long right-hander, actually. The race, the circuit actually gets its name from the heart-shaped lake that is in the middle of the track. Actually, if you continue from the start straight and continue around the first 2 left-handers, you go completely around the Heart Lake. It is right in the middle of the track complex, in the middle of the circuit grounds. Great place to have a little photo from the air or from the ground, of course, and hopefully no one will go swimming in there at the end. I am your commentator today, of course, that Nath dude, your one and only, and well, apparently we are watching Rybread as he completes his outlap for qualifying. It is F4. If you want to join in with all of the races, then hop over to the Discord at discord.beamgp.com. If you would like to watch the previous live streams for previous races or just whatever we've done before, youtube.com/@BeamGrandPrix. And if you would like to look at the driver ratings that we have for each driver who has signed up, it is BeamGP.com, and then head over to the drivers tab. Alright, 5 minutes left of qualifying. Rybread almost about to finish his lap. We are just hopping back onto the shared bit of the track where every layout, apart from the national and club users, almost heading on a little lockup, a massive lockup actually, on the inside right, inside front tire. Very easily done there, as the weight gets taken off of the front right during the right-hander. From the weight shifting outwards, it's very easy to lock the tire up as it gets less force being pushed down. And we see a little bit of decent speed as we go through the DRS zone. No DRS on these cars, these are just F4 cars, and well, next week we can see these cars around another track. Of course, it is going to be a arrive and drive just like this one, unranked. So feel free to join the Discord and have a look. Rybread then driving into the barrier, spinning out, and he's gone straight on. He's gone back to the pits. Hopefully we can see him again with another lap. Currently watching Musk with Meki behind them. Musk just slowing down. I think they're on an out lap. There are 4 minutes left of qualifying, and we will just have to see who can set what. Currently, we have Maverick in the lead with a 1 minute 53. Just 1/10 behind is Misty. Hopefully, we can have a pretty interesting race. All things lined up. It looks like it is going to be very interesting indeed. Just watching Maverick go through these corners now, making sure their car is all good. Of course, if you don't have a good setup, then you can very easily find yourself going into the gravel traps and getting stuck. Or, as we saw happen to Rybread on his first time lap, he's going to have one more attempt. You can spin and go into the wall. Again, not what you want to have happen. Hopefully, it doesn't affect him too much. He is one of the better known drivers in the server right now. As we enter the final 2.5 minutes of qualifying, riding on board with Maverick as we catch to the back of Emin. Emin is 2.6 seconds slower, currently P4. Hopefully this lap from Emin can get them a little bit higher up the timing board, up the timing sheets. We will have to see. Well, that is the end of Maverick's qualifying. P2, Misty just pipped him to get P1, get pole. And Rybread, we can just have a look at Rybread. There we go. Is now going to be continuing. I've got to just sort something out. Why is it showing that? G3 is not low. Ah, it's still using the old one. There we go, fix the graphic, all good. Rybread in the pits then. Final 30 seconds, we've got Musk, the only person who can improve their lap. We've got no timing data, so we have no idea if they are improving. They're currently pushing their cars to the edge of the track. Let's see what they can do. Final 10 seconds then. They will be able to complete their lap. And they're getting... Oh, they're just a couple of straights away now. 2, 1. End of the timer. And oh, they couldn't finish in time. That is Musk P4. Just in front of Rybread, who unfortunately didn't set a competitive lap time. They did manage to set lap time though, but... just not fast enough for the to be competitive. Welcome to the commentary box then, Chris. So, Chris, we've got a lot of new people to the server today. A lot of names I am not familiar with. We've got a couple of names that I am familiar with, though. Start being Rybread, Musk, and Emin, along with Matt and Maverick as well. But qualifying looks good. What do you expect in the race? We've got a couple of updates and new cars to spawn in as well.
I think Misty might perform quite well. They are a new name, but I have seen them perform quite well in Stouge, for example. I am aware they're quite a capable driver, and I think this F4 will finally be able to show off their skill here at Heart Lake. I'm kind of hopeful for. You see there, Rybread. He wasn't able to set a competitive lap, as you said, but I do think he'll be able to do better in the race. He is also quite a capable driver.
All right, then. We have the lights then. 5 red lights, and it's a jump start from Musk and Matt. Green flags fly here in France as we get away for the race at Heart Lake. The race around the Great Lake here. Clean start from all the drivers, apart from the 2 that had a little jump start, as it's a little argy-bargy from all of the drivers side by side through turn 1 and 2 as we make our way now onto turn 3. Let's have a look, see if we can find someone. That's Matt going slowly. I wonder if they've been told something we can't see. Casper down the inside of Emin, just trying to get any sort of doubt planted very quickly into Emin's mind that if he's going to have an easy race, that is not what this is going to be. Watching all the drivers single file now through this long sweeping right-hander. Lap 1 Musk just driving to the inside of the track as the timing seems to be a little bit confused. Seesper just spinning on the exit of the corner. Hopefully no one gets in his way. No one does get in his way. But let's have a little look at Emin now, fighting for the lead with Maverick and Nisty. This is, as I said before, one of the drivers who has been known to drive quite a lot and quite aggressively here in BeamGP. Emin, I haven't really seen it advance too high up the license system in the old system before we had this new platinum, gold, silver and bronze system, but he's still a really solid driver, and let that not go away from him. Oh, curse the commentator. He's gone into the gravel, kept it moving though, kept it out the gravel, and he is now a whole lot further behind. A little look to the car behind him then. Oh, I would look if the wheel was on. The car behind him is in fact Rybread. And, well, Rybread, as we saw, is a fierce competitor. We've got Matt still moving really slowly. Behind all, there's been contact with Matt and Meki. See if we can catch up with that. Can't exactly see where. Well, couldn't catch that, unfortunately. But we do have Rybread. So just keeping up with Rybread then. Again, silver rated as Emin out in front goes very wide. Lets Rybread on as he rejoins. Very good sportsmanship there. Looking at the back from Rybread onto Emin through the right-hander, sweeping as it is. We see Emin just trying to stay behind, using the slipstream. Very powerful here with these F4 cars. They are very susceptible to slipstream and dirty air, of course, that being the same thing, just at different parts of the track. Rybread now going wide, missing the apex entirely. Emin getting the apex, and Rybread getting a massive tank slapper. Manages to keep it within the white lines though, and keeps it ahead of Emin. He's now going to have very warm tyres as he is just trying to battle any sort of grip as he goes around these corners. Understeer after understeer under understeer. Let's have a quick little check-in with the battle at the front. Nisdi and Maverick just on board with Nisdi as he makes a massive overtake. Oh, that was too massive. He's gone well deep into the final complex of corners. Gives the place back onto Maverick, who, well, quite rightly stays in the lead. The pink car for Maverick and the silver chrome car for Nisty as we make our way onto lap 3. On board now with Nisty, a name I haven't seen before, but apparently is very capable with fighting at the front and, well, showing that they are definitely not someone to be put down without a fight. the gap less than a second now at the top between P1 and 2. Although Nisty does have a penalty for track limits. Again, Rybred and Emin, actually it wasn't Rybred and Emin that jump start the start, so that's interesting that they managed to get away with a jump start penalty. Rybred and Emin also have penalties. I think Emin might be for jump start. Rybred, I think, is for track limits, which will be interesting when the race comes to close in 7 minutes time. This is just race 1 of 2, remember. We have a second race after this, and well, Nisty still very close to the back of Maverick as we make our way around the tight right and left. Very easy to run out wide as we see Nisty moving very wide through this section onto the back straight now as we make our way over to the top part of the circuit as we catch Maverick just losing a little bit of time. The gap opening just a smidge, but still trying our Nisty trying their very best to get closer to Maverick and put a little bit of a challenge on for the win. Of course, the more you push the tires, the more they wear. The more the tires wear, the faster they heat up. The faster they heat up, the less grip they have. The less grip they have, the more you use them. It's a cycle that keeps going on, and Nisty locking up 2 of their tires, going very wide, very sideways out of turn 2. Manages to keep it just about on track as we see Matt being lapped for the 3rd time now. Nisty now 3 seconds behind Maverick in the lead. Hopefully though, we can see Nisty catching back up to the front. There is Matt. It sort of looks to me like Matt has some damage. Does it look like it to you, Chris? He's certainly not going at racing speed, or very, very unusual maneuver there towards Matt. That was very close towards the racing line there. Matt just narrowly missing out on Matt. Musk missing out on Matt. Luckily,
it could be decent there from Matt.
Could be, but he was going completely straight, so I doubt it. But still, Musk undamaged and just about 5 seconds behind Seesber for 5th. Hopefully, this battle can keep going. They are the only drivers who are on the lead lap, apart from Maverick, who is leading, to not have a penalty. Meki 22N is still on the lead lap, just about. They are about to be lapped, and they also have a penalty. Here is Rybred P3, just, what's that, about 9.4 seconds, doesn't take the pit lane, goes back out. So we have 4 minutes left in the race. You can see Emin right behind Rybred. It is a really close battle here. It's about a second and a half of distance between P4 and P3. This is the battle for the final podium position here between Rybred and Emin. We see Nizzy with a moment with an issue. Why are they going so slowly? Did they have a spin? They might have accidentally had a moment. As we go around turn 3, Rybred the long way around Nisdy, getting back up to racing speed now as we make our way into turn 4. Nizzy now with the outside line, just trying to keep it close to Rybred. Rybred now with the inside line through the long turn 4, makes it up into P2 as we make our way through the chicane. Past the chicane. Nisdy now with the slipstream side by side into turn 6. Nisdy still behind Rybred, but very close. You see nose to tail as we look at the bumper cam of Rybred. You can see just how close these two drivers are to knocking each other's noses off. Of course, if you knock off the nose cone, you lose the front wing. You lose the front wing, you instantly lose all turning on the front for, until you get the nose cone put back on. It's pretty much a death sentence for any podium chance as we have a look at the slipstream effect here. Oh, looking around the outside, not quite getting the switch back either is Nizdi. Rybread just about missing. Oh, what was that with Emin? Emin has completely missed the corner. Let's see if we can find him very quickly, as we are still side by side with Nizdi and Rybread. Onto the back straight again. Emin still luckily on track behind them, just a couple moments behind Rybread actually. Funnily is 12 seconds exactly behind Maverick, as we see Matt having a little bit of an interesting moment, we'll say. But I'm back to the battle for P2 here. It's almost a 3-car battle, but currently it is just between Nizzi and Rybread as we make our way back through turn 3. Nizzi still behind Rybread. This is a cracking battle for the second place on the podium, as we see Nizzi just getting slipstream, which is somewhat helpful. Around that corner, it is so long, so wide, so open that you can use the slipstream. It isn't that much of dirty air. It's sort of like a 50-50 split. Sometimes you want to have it, sometimes you don't. But we see Rybread using a really defensive line into turn 5, locking up, and that allows Nizzi to come back through side by side. We see Emin at the back, and now that's Rybread with the outside line into turn 7. Emin with a little snap, and Rybread is now behind Nizzi as we have 1 more minute left in the race. We will have 1 more lap of battle between these 3 drivers for 2nd, 3rd and 4th. The last 2 steps on the podium. The victory is all but sealed for Maverick out in front, but anything can happen. We've seen it before where the leader has made an unforced error and completely lost it on his own. There is Matt out in the pits as we have a look at Rybread now fighting with Emin. The gap now between Emin and Rybread just about a second now, hovering around there. Anything can happen still. We could see Rybread with a mistake. We've seen it before in this race. Emin could get a really good exit. It's not unheard of. Rybread now out of turn 2. This is a flat out section until the long right hander. We see Meki out in front, 1 lap down. They should not interfere with this, but the blue flags don't mean that everything is hunky-dory, that you need to get out of the way. Not in this league. Blue flags are just advisory here, and that just means that you need to be aware of the drivers around you, that you need to just be careful and not make contact. See Meki just doing some grass cutting and getting out the way. All lovely. Back with audio then, we see Rybread just very close to Nizzi again as we make our way back towards the back straight. Let's have a quick look at the gap to Maverick. Maverick just way out in front. They're going to be crossing the start-finish line any moment soon as we see Nizzi out in front, and Nizzi is giving Rybread an awfully big heap, a massive scoop of dirty air through that corner. Those sets of corners, that is where you want your aerodynamic devices to be working their best. Let's see if we can find Maverick. Here we go. Maverick is going to win race 1 here in Heart Lake. It is a beautiful circuit here. You should come and race yourself. It's an amazing atmosphere, and Maverick has used that atmosphere to its potential, winning race 1 here in dominant fashion. Nizzi P2, Rybread P3, Emin P4, and that is going to be your finishing order for race 1. Well done to Maverick, but commiserations to Emin. It was a really good battle with Nizzi, Rybread and Emin. A 3-way battle for the lead, which unfortunately didn't turn out to be fruitful. Well, Chris, how did you find that to be for you? I found that really enjoyable.
I found that enjoyable too. I think it was quite nice to see Maverick being able to keep the lead. And I do wish we had more of a fight between Nisty and Riper, but I think they both gave it their best here at Heart Lake. Quite a nice race, and I hope we'll see the same in race 2.
Indeed. Well, we have just about a minute until race 2, and I think it's without mention that I should, well, it's without doubt that I should mention to you guys that this track was designed by Reddit user Alan9331. It's really good track, and all the tracks that they design are really well done. This, however, was designed in paint. That's correct. The prehistoric at this age, at this point, image generation tool, I wouldn't call it image editing tool, it doesn't really work for that, but yeah, this was designed in paint of all things. So well done to Alan for making such a wonderful track in such a limited software. It was then brought over to Assetto Corsa, and it was from there further brought forwards into BeamGP. Everyone who has worked their way to get this track to where it is, it's a beautiful track, has definitely done work that shouldn't be gone without notice. Anyway, race 2 looks like we're going to have another car joining us. I think that we're going to be in for a lovely little set of 12 minutes. Once again then, that is the layout that we are using. You can see in the middle where the Heart Lake is. And again, it is just over 5 kilometers in length. It's a lengthy boy, but it is certainly one of the really fun tracks that I really like going to here in the roster of circuits that we have at our disposal. Any moment now, we should see the drivers teleported to the grid, and we should be underway with race 2. Well, Chris, if race 1 was anything to go by, we should be in with an absolute banger with 2 more drivers on the timing tower. What do you make of the race to come?
Hopefully they'll be able to keep it together, and we're not going to see any first lap chaos. That's what I hope, but hopefully I didn't just jinx it now. But I do think 2 drivers, if they're good, will make this a much better race than before.
Occo for them with the Dead Bull livery. This is one of the drivers that we can expect to join us here for race 2. Now, if you would like to join in with all of the action, head over to our Discord server, discord.beamgp.com. Head over to the Start Racing channel, and you can find all the information you need to, well, enter these races. Of course, these races are streamed here live on the YouTube, youtube.com/@BeamGrandPrix. And if you want to have a look at the driver ratings or any other info, head over to beamgp.com. Alright, practice has started for race 2 while we get everything sorted up on the back end. Hopefully, we are going to have another very interesting race like we just saw before. We'll be back after this very short little break. So, make sure that you get your favorite flavor of popcorn. Don't go anywhere once you've got the popcorn. We've got an absolute, well, I don't know how to describe it. You're just gonna have to watch it and see what happens. everyone. We are having a little bit of issues with the server right now, but hopefully it can all be sorted out soon. Just a reminder, if you would like to join in with the races, we've got plenty of races coming up today, then head over to our Discord at discord.beamgp.com. Link is on the screen there right now. If you'd like to watch any of the previous races that we have held, head over to our YouTube channel. You're watching it on YouTube right now, but also go to youtube.com/BeamGrandPrix. If you would like to have a look at all of the info on previous seasons or just driver ratings, BeamGP.com, and head over to the respective tab to see it there. Well, what about, I don't know about you, Chris, but I would quite like to know what events we're hosting later today, don't you?
I would. I think actually we're gonna. Yeah.
All right. Well, lucky for you, I have this new technology. Yes. Well, let's just have a look then.
Don't say.
I don't say. You know, I don't bring it up enough in chats. So in an hour from now, we have the GT3 Street Sprint at the Marina Circuit, that is in Singapore. 3 hours from now, so 2 hours after that, we have the Enjoy Illinois 100 at the Worldwide Technology Raceway, that's the Gateway. A few hours after that, we have F4 America at Miami, and then tomorrow we have the MX5 race. Let's bring it back up. The MX5 Sprint at Palmadeira, that is in Brazil. Another really, really good track. So a lot of things to look forward to here this weekend in BeamGP. There's also another thing you can look forward to next weekend. Do you know what that is, Chris?
I believe you mean the GTJS race?
I do indeed mean the GTJS race. If you'd like to join in there, just head over to discord.beamgp.com and sign up over there. Right. We have still got not much to talk about here. We've still got a few timing screen issues. We've even got someone in an F3 car having a go around the track. But this is not going to put a damper on our spirits for now. We are still going to be thinking forwards to this next race and hoping that it can be fixed, although we are just waiting word on if that is going to go forwards or not. This is European F4 here in BeamGP. This is the Heart Lake Complex. And we've just had an amazing race one where we saw, pardon me, excuse me, where we saw Maverick take a dominant lead from lap 1, leading every single lap and finishing the race 6 seconds ahead of P2. And we also saw a nice little battle model time with 3 cars for P2, 3 and 4. So I'm certainly, if we get this next race going forwards, would not be too unhappy. Chris, you know a few of these drivers. I know a couple of these drivers. Are they going to be looking forwards? And well, with the previous race showing a few drivers not where they might want to be performing at, is that going to be putting a damper on their spirits or not?
I doubt. I don't think a simple unranked race is going to set them back too much or affect their confidence. You did mention some of the other drivers. I do think Maverick will enjoy the Illinois 100 event, which will be with Super Formula Lights at Worldwide Technology Race. I think he will enjoy that. He's a fan of that format of racing. You know, he did do quite well at the NASCAR ovals, which you can watch over on our YouTube channel.
Yes, indeed.
Do you think?
No.
Do you think we also see Rybread in the GT3 sprint? I know he is quite the GT enjoyer, so we'll definitely see him there.
Here we
Along
see
with some other drivers.
Yes, Rybread I would have expected to be certainly a couple more positions higher up the order. Maverick, I think he's going to be pretty happy with that position. Not usually someone I see that high up the leaderboard, and to be so dominant in that race, I think it's definitely something he can write home about and have a little smile on his face when he hops out the car later this afternoon. Wow. You've got to think at this point, what are race control starting to do? We've got no word currently, but that doesn't mean that they aren't performing anything. Now, what were you going to say, Chris? Go ahead.
Also, I do believe this might be Nisty's first race here at BeamGP, so I do think it's quite a nice result for a first race.
I thought that as well. I don't remember seeing Nisty before. And
yeah, I do believe they just joined, so that is something to note down. Yeah, P2, I believe, yeah.
P2 on your on debut is, well, mega performance with some of the drivers that we've got in the servers. Absolutely phenomenal to see such rising talent just appearing out of nowhere. Hopefully this can continue when we get ranked races continuing, and hopefully we can see them in the top class of cars. Got another little edit to load in. No word from race control yet. We'll give it another few minutes, but I can't exactly see anything being done so far. Here we see Pikolov just going through one of the really tight, complex corners. They spun it, and that's into the barrier. That's exactly what we saw, Rybread doing qualifying on his first run, which saw him just absolutely demolish both of his laps, as he then had to, well, he couldn't complete a second time lap. And, well, that was that for his qualifying session. Still P3 for Rybread in race 1 from effectively last is still pretty good work. Well, Chris, do you want to say it, or do you want me to say it?
What exactly?
I don't exactly think that race 2 is going to get started here.
The channels with race control, no word yet, so I do think we might as well call it a day now, but we will have some more racing action very soon.
Of course.
Here at BeamGP.
Today, a lot of the managerial staff that usually look after the server when everything breaks down them are out and about this week. Just schedules happen to be misaligned, unfortunately. So things will happen, but still, it should be sorted for next race, which, may I remind you, is in an hour on the streets of Singapore. GT3 Street Sprint. We've got the ETKKs, the Scintillas, and the Hirochi SBR4s, I believe. It's going to be an exciting race at night time, around the classic nighttime F1 race. So buckle your seatbelts and put on your helmets. We're going to have an amazing ride over here in BeamGP. Well, everyone, I will just ask you a couple more things, Chris. It's been a lovely day here, hasn't it? Lovely weather, and well.
Yeah, I do love this track very much. I have raced it myself. I do love you can take most of it flat out. That's quite the intro part. Very easy to learn too.
It's a little bit confusing once you start, but once you do a couple laps, it is a very easy track.
quite rewarding.
Yeah, it's very rewarding. It's one of my favorite tracks. It's part of the reason why I've been begging for us to do a race here for the past few weeks. Well, with that, any final thoughts, Chris?
It was a nice first race we saw. I think we'll just pick it up with GT3.
All right.
I do think actually Rybread would want to interview.
Does he? He's not in the waiting for interview,
Yes,
so yeah, I guess he's not waiting for an interview. He is also streaming in Driver's A, so I don't think he is wanting an interview.
I did just get a message, so I suppose I could just drag him in.
Well, we have Rybread.
Hello, Rybread.
Hello, Rybread. A lovely race-long battle there in the race with Nissi, and at the end there you also had Emin hopping on as well. How did that feel to be battling so close with so many drivers for once in BeamGP?
It was definitely fun. It definitely brought me back, memories with it, especially Heart Lake and BeamGP. The Covet Cup back in a long time ago. It really brought back some memory lane. But it was a lot of fun. I gotta say, to battle Imanek. He was behind me, and I was especially scared because I had penalty points. But I was definitely also really fighting hard, trying to keep clean racing with the new guy ahead. He's a great driver. I had my front wing angle too low, especially for that. I think it's the second sector or third sector where there's the switchback, almost like an S. I forget which sector that is, but I couldn't get enough grip there. So every time we pass through there, I lose time. But I definitely had a lot of fun battling, and I'm happy with the P3 result.
We saw a couple of drivers doing a little bit of jump starts at the start of the race. They got penalties, you got penalties. There's a lot of penalties being handed out. Is there a question for the system to be less lenient, more lenient? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, okay, so the jump. I don't think I got a penalty for jump starting. I did the start fine. But I think some of the new guys who jump started, they didn't necessarily know how the system works because they don't know how to read the rule book.
It's actually some of the older guys.
Oh really? who jump started?
I think it was who was it? It was Maverick and Emin, wasn't it?
Huh.
Might have done.
I mean, okay, Eminek is a bit. Is he still new? I mean, he's raced
he's getting
some.
to the age at the moment.
Yeah. But for me, track limits, I feel like when I start to get nervous, I just push so wide or I start messing up. So I think track limits are good where they are. It's just you have to be very careful when pushing. And that's really, I don't think track limits need to be less penalized. I just think that, I do think it improves cleaner racing. Like we saw with the F3 race a long time ago, I just kept pushing wide, and then that's how I spun at the end, and so that's how I lost. And so that I think track limits are good to keep clean racing, to force you to be smart with what you're doing. And so no, I don't think the track limit system needs a rework. But there was a weird bug in qualifying where it would, every time I crossed the line, it wouldn't register. Like the time wouldn't reset, and so that's how I was in the back of the grid again. But I don't mind, and I'm happy with the P3 result anyway. I climbed my way through the traffic.
Interesting. Well, still a great result there from the back of the grid anyway. And, we'll let you go and celebrate a well-deserved podium. Well done, Brightbread, your P3 winner, P3 finisher.
Thank you, guys.
I do believe we have a few other people waiting for interview. Matt, the 57, and Maverick.
Take your pick.
Suppose
I don't mind. We
I'll
go first.
pick Maverick since he is the race winner, so I want to ask him some questions. Hello, Maverick.
Hello?
You're
guys
a
hear
race
me?
winner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise to be fair, because I thought Nisty would have got me at some point, but obviously he must have spun once or twice and I didn't quite catch on to it, and it just gave me the gap I needed to get to the end in a nice orderly fashion, so yeah.
What were your thoughts on the restart? I believe there were some jump starts. What's your thoughts on that?
Being completely honest, I didn't even pay attention to the race start. I was just sort of focusing on getting away as quick as possible. Just try and get past Nisty into turn one, hold the outside if I could, and then just gonna try and build a gap. Obviously that didn't really happen in the end, but yeah, no, I didn't really pay much attention to anyone who jump started.
And an absolute dominant race there from you. Led every single lap and still had a comfortable margin behind you for a couple of small errors. That must be certainly something to smile about.
It was until I got to the hairpin in a sector 2 where I did actually spin and I had like a 15-second gap. And I couldn't actually hold the clutch or anything, so the engine went. So that's sort of the reason why the gap went down to 6 seconds. And I was really lucky that I had the 15 seconds to get myself back running and try and rebuild the gap as quick as I could. But yeah, it was a bit of a shock that I led every single lap. I thought Nisty was really quick. There was one point where he dived on me in sector 3 and I thought he would have got the position, but he just overcooked it a bit and I was able to get the switch back on him. And obviously once he spun, it was just me and the car from there.
You said it was you in your car from there, so you're happy with the setup around this track? You think we should come back more?
Absolutely. Definitely. I think I only had like 10 minutes when I joined the server to like try and whip up a setup quickly and try and get some times in, but I think I got it dialed down just right, and obviously it's shown in that race, being able to lead every single lap. So yeah, definitely happy with that.
All right, well done on that absolute dominant win. Everyone, your race winner, Maverick.
Thank you, guys.
Let's see if we can find Matt. Oh, Matt's left.
Looks like he...
I guess we won't talk to Matt then.
Unfortunate.
Oh well. Well then, Chris, any final words?
Lovely track, that's all I have to say.
Lovely track. All right. Well, everyone, if you would like to join in the races, then just head over to discord.beamgp.com. If you'd like to watch any of the previous races, watch this race again, head over to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Beam Grand Prix. You can find all our content there. And if you'd like to find all the info on upcoming races, previous races, and driver ratings, BeamGP.com is the website for you. Thank you for watching today, and we hope that you have an amazing weekend, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.